I think I'm live. Hi. Yes, I think I did it. Okay. Good Friday afternoon. I am so excited to be with you guys today. Um, Coming to you live from Texas, where the weather is pretty yucky outside, a little chilly, and I am looking forward to the weekend. I cannot wait for the weekend to be here. No plans, but that's just life these days. So I would love to know where you are joining me from today. So if you would leave that in the comments and let me know where you are joining me from today. I have got a great read aloud for you today, one of my favorites. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It seems to be a book that not a lot of people have read, but it is absolutely one of my favorites to read aloud. And I'm going to be using this book today to talk to you about a really important comprehension skill. And I can't wait to get started. So let's go ahead and go. Okay, I see some friends here from Alabama. What's the weather like there today? So excited to know. Well, let me tell you a little something. I have plans in July to go to the beach. We're hoping that happens. I have plans to go to the beach, and I just kind of want you to think for a second what the weather is like in the summer at the beach. What do you know about the beach in the summertime? So I want you to be thinking about that really quickly, okay? What do you know about the beach in the summertime? Okay, somebody's telling me that the weather is perfect. What else do you know about the beach in the summertime? Is it cold? Is it hot? What are some things that you know? Now, the story that I'm going to read to you today, we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be using it to talk about making predictions. So we're kind of going to be using this little activity here to talk a little bit more about that. But first, before that, I want us to touch on what a prediction is. Now, a prediction is a guess that you make while reading based on clues from text or illustrations. Right? So we're going to make a best guess based on what the text is telling us, based on what the pictures are showing us. When we make a prediction, we are using all of those clues plus our schema to guess something about the story. Now, does anybody know what schema is? Can you guys tell me what schema is? Now, schema is what we already know. It's the information already stored in our brains. It's everything that we already know about whatever, right? Now, so let's use our schema to think more about what the weather is like, what the beach is like in the summertime in July, right? That's the summertime, yeah. So let's be thinking about that for a second. What does your schema tell you? Well, I know that for me, I've been to the beach before in the summertime, and it's hot. It's kind of miserable, actually. The beach is not my favorite place to be because it's hot and it's kind of sticky. I know that there's water there at the beach. I know that the beach is sandy water, the ocean. It's kind of scary a little bit. There are things in there that I don't really necessarily want to encounter while I'm at the beach. I know that it's really hot, and so that I'm going to be taking a lot of different things with me to the beach, right, that I'm going to need to keep me cool. Right? So I've already started packing for my trip to the beach. I've already got a few things in my bag. Okay. In my bag, I've already got a few things. And what I want you to do is I want you to use your schema, things that you already know about the beach, to predict what I have packed in my bag to take with me. Now, I'm not fully packed, because I'm not very organized like that. I've just got a few things in here that I'm going to be taking with me to the beach. And I want you to use your schema to make a prediction about what I've packed. So what I'd like for you to do right now is I would like for you to make a prediction. Tell me what you think I have packed inside of this bag to take with me to the beach in the summertime, in July, when it's hot, water, sand, all of that good stuff. Make a prediction for me and tell me what you think I have already packed. Now, going back to that schema piece again. Ooh, let's see. I have a friend who's telling me I've probably packed. She's making a prediction and saying that I've packed a hat, sunglasses, a bathing suit, and sunscreen. Ooh, those are really good predictions because I bet that your schema is telling you that since it's hot at the beach and it's pretty sunny, I'm going to need some sunglasses to protect my eyes. I'm going to need some sunscreen to protect my skin from the sun. Bathing suit. Maybe maybe I won't take a bathing suit. Maybe I will just stay in my clothes. But you know what? If I want to get in the water, I'm probably going to need a bathing suit, right? Someone else is telling me that I'm probably going to need to take a towel. And why would I need a towel? My schema tells me that when I'm sitting on the beach in the sand, I don't want to be sitting amongst all the sand. I want to be sitting on something nice and comfortable, so I'm going to take a towel with me. That's a really great prediction as well. Maybe even a beach ball, because if I'm feeling playful and if I want to play with the kids, I might take a beach ball to bounce around with me at the beach as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and test your predictions right now. And I'm going to see if what you were predicting was actually accurate, or you're going to get to see if it was accurate or not. And what do you know? A pair of sunglasses packed in my bag. Great prediction. Yes, I'm going to need these to protect my eyes from the sun. It's going to be pretty sunny, I'm thinking, at the beach. Okay, I had someone else tell me that I'm probably going to need sunscreen. That was a really great prediction as well. I am very into protecting my skin, so yes, sunscreen will definitely be something that I am going to take with me. I've already packed it in my bag. Got my trusty sunscreen. Great prediction. I love the way that you are using your schema to predict what's inside of my bag already. I can't believe I've almost kind of packed for this trip. Wow. And someone else said that I'm going to be taking a towel. Let's see. Yes, I am going to be taking a towel with me to the beach for all that laying in the sun that I plan on doing. So those were some really great predictions. You were using the schema that you had available, what you already knew about the beach, to make predictions about what I was going to pack. And you did an excellent job, so I want you to pin a rose on your nose. You did an excellent job. Pin a rose on your nose. Now, I would love to introduce to you the book that I'm going to be reading today. And the story that I'm going to be reading you today, we are going to be making some predictions about this as well. So I want you to use your text clues. That's the clues that you see throughout the book, the words that are in the story. You're going to be also observing and noticing the illustrations in the story as well, to see if it can help you to form an opinion, not necessarily an opinion, I'm sorry, but to help you form a prediction as well. Now, if you have already visited my website, it's justcaracarroll.com/petrock. And that's where you can find the printables that we will be using for today's lesson. Okay, you do not, absolutely do not have to have any of this on hand. You can use a plain sheet of paper, or you know what, you can just use your words. You don't even have to have a plain sheet of paper, but we are going to be making some predictions today. And wouldn't you know that I printed it out and I cannot find it now. Welcome to the life of a teacher, where everything gets lost when you least expect it. Now, just go ahead and take out a plain sheet of paper, or you can print out the printables from the website, and we are going to be making a prediction as we read the story of Charlotte and the Rock. I adore this story so much. The illustrations are so simple, but they're really powerful as well. They show us so much about what goes on in this story. And this story is written, the author of this story, his name is Stephen W. Martin, and the illustrator is Samantha Cotterill. And I hope I'm saying that right. Okay, this is a darling story, and let's go ahead and get started reading this one right now. Charlotte and the Rock. Now, if you have been with me for the last couple of lives that we have done here, and the stories that I have read with you, I do not like keeping the jackets on my book when I read, because I like to keep them intact and really nice, and I just love them so much. So they kind of get in my way sometimes when I read, so I take these jackets off, set them to the side, and I will put them on after we are finished reading the story. So let's get started reading Charlotte and the Rock. And when it's time to make a prediction, I'm going to pause and I'm going to ask you to make a prediction. Now, that little printable that I was telling you that is on the website right now, you can always print that out and you can write down your predictions, or you can just make them audibly to somebody who is in the room with you right now. So I want you to listen really carefully, because this is such a precious story. I think you are really going to love it. Charlotte and the Rock. Charlotte Gray wanted a pet. See that? She wants a pet. And look how she's looking at those pets right now in the window. She's at the pet shop. I can tell that the illustrations are showing me she's at the pet shop, and she's kind of looking a little longingly at those pets, and she wants a pet. Do you guys have pets at home, or do you hope that you're able to get a pet? My boys would love us to have another dog, but Mom says absolutely no. I'm not very nice. She didn't care what kind of pet. A dog, a cat, a hamster, or even a pig would do. So on her 6th birthday, Charlotte's parents bought her, what do you think Charlotte's parents, that is a mouthful. What do you think Charlotte's parents bought her? What kind of a pet do you think they gave to her? Now, I am going to ask you to make a prediction right now. I want you to predict what kind of a pet Charlotte's parents bought for her. Put that in the comments for me, or tell somebody in the room that you are with right now, what kind of a pet did Charlotte's parents buy for her? A pet rock. This is my favorite kind of pet. A pet rock. Now look at her parents. They are so excited. They're like, ta-da! Here is your pet rock. And how does Charlotte look? Let's take a closer look at Charlotte's face. Does she look very excited about a pet rock? Pictures are telling me that I'm kind of predicting that that's really not the kind of pet that she had in mind. A pet rock. It wasn't quite what Charlotte had in mind, but she tried to remain positive. The rock, after all, was a very good listener. It was also quiet and easy to train. Here she is, she's telling the rock, stay. And what do you think the rock is doing? It's staying. And it was hypoallergenic, which was good for Grandma Glynis, who was allergic to almost everything. She's making the best of a bad situation. But as with any pet, some things proved quite difficult. Walks were not fun. Look at Charlotte taking her rock for a walk. Look at that. That does not look like it's very fun. It kind of looks like the rock is a bit heavy. She's got a heavy pet rock. Really not fun. The rock is carrying her down the sidewalk. The rock's lack of appetite was really annoying, and it was not much help in getting her out of trouble at school. You said what? Ate your homework? Asked Charlotte's teacher. And look at Charlotte. She's pointing to the rock outside. The rock ate her homework. Kind of silly, isn't it? But soon, Charlotte and the rock became best friends. They played games and pretended to be superheroes. Look at that right there. Look at Charlotte and the rock pretending to be superheroes. They read comic books. They even went swimming. You think rocks can swim very well? I don't think so. One day a neighbor walking her dog asked, "What's your pet's name?" "Dennis," said Charlotte proudly. "We chose it together." I love this illustration so much. So here they are choosing Dennis's name. There's a little board down here with different names on it, and she's tossing the rock out of her window, and wherever the rock lands, that's how they're choosing Dennis's name. That's very clever. Charlotte loved her pet so very much, but she couldn't help wishing that the rock loved her back. Charlotte patted her rock and let out a sigh. Can everybody sigh with me? She just wanted the pet to love her back. At bedtime that night, Charlotte kissed her rock goodnight, and she fell fast asleep. Dennis, however, could not sleep. It's almost time for you to make a prediction. Dennis couldn't sleep. Crack. Now, I've covered this page because it's showing us what's going to happen next. But I want you to make a prediction and tell me, what do you think is going to happen next? Based on the text clues, based on the illustrations, based on what the author is telling us with his words in the story, what do you think is going to happen next? Make a prediction. Put your predictions in the comments and let me know what you think. So I'm going to go back one page really quickly. And I'm just going to reread that over. At bedtime that night, Charlotte kissed her rock goodnight and fell fast asleep. But Dennis couldn't sleep. Crack. So what do you predict is going to happen next? Well, I'm going to show you. Let me just go ahead and tell you what I'm thinking right now. I kind of am thinking that rocks don't really just sit and spontaneously crack on their own. I'm thinking the rock might not really be a rock at all. He knew Charlotte needed a hug. Now look at that little teaser of an illustration right there. That rock has cracked wide open. And what do you see here on the side of the page? What is that? It looks like a little shaking tail, maybe? He knew that Charlotte needed a hug, so he cracked right out of his rock and he gave her a big one. Look at that. What is the rock? Oh my goodness, the rock is actually not a rock. The rock is a dinosaur. Did you even see that coming? If you predicted something, did you predict that the rock was going to be a dinosaur? Did your prediction match what the book is actually showing us right now? When I first read this story, I never guessed that Dennis was actually a dinosaur. A dinosaur wasn't quite what Charlotte's parents had in mind, but they tried to remain positive. And look, this dinosaur even wears glasses. After all, Dennis was a great listener, pretty good at hide and seek, and really easy to train. Well, sort of. So not really easy, but just sort of. Isn't that a darling story? When I first read this, I was so shocked because when I was making predictions about what was actually cracking out of the rock, I never had a dinosaur in mind. So what were your predictions like? What did you predict was actually going to come out of the rock when it started to crack? Did you predict a dinosaur? I think I predicted a chicken when I first read the story. That is not the same as a dinosaur. And I'm really glad that she did not end up with a pet chick. I'm glad she ended up with a pet dinosaur because that made for a really fun twist in the story. How adorable was that? Now, after I am finished reading the story, after I'm finished with this lesson today, you can visit the website at justcaracarroll.com/petrock, and you can download the printables that I'm going to share with you right now for some extra activities to do while you are at home. Now, you can always do these in the classroom as well with your teacher when you go back to school, but I want to share some of the really fun things that we're going to be taking from this story right here. Now, something that I have available for you on the website are these prediction scenario cards. And these are just different little scenarios on each one of these cards. And your objective here is to have someone read these to you or to read them yourself and then make a prediction using your schema, using the clues in the text to predict what's going to happen next. So you can print these off of the website as well. Be a really great little activity for you to practice making predictions. I put a video on the website talking about living and non-living creatures also. Now, we saw that in the story when Charlotte first got her rock, the rock is not a living thing, is it? And what do we know about living things? We know that living things, they breathe. We know they need food. We know they need water. Charlotte, the rock, was not a living creature, but at the very end of the story, when Dennis cracks and pops out and he's actually a dinosaur, we know that a dinosaur is a living creature. So the rock is non-living. The dinosaur is living. So I put a link to a video on the website where you can learn more about living and non-living things. After you're finished learning about living and non-living things, after you watch that video, you can do this little activity here where you are going to come up with different things that are living and different things that are non-living. And that would be a fun little thing for you to do when you're finished. Now, something that is not living, but I think would be so much fun to do while you are at home would be to make your very own pet rock. So what I did here was I just went outside and I went on a rock scavenger hunt. Speaking of rock scavenger hunts, I mean, did I just lose all of my papers? I guess I did. Speaking of rock scavenger hunts, I have a rock scavenger hunt on the website for you as well. And you can take that out into your community, into your neighborhood, wherever you are, and you can take that rock scavenger hunt and you can find all sorts of different rocks. See how many that you can find, and I would love for you to share that with me. But anyway, so what I did was I went outside and I found my very own rock. I brought it back inside, cleaned it up just a bit, and then I took some different materials that I had here at the house to create my very own pet rock. This is the perfect kind of pet. Easy to train. He's a great listener. We do all sorts of really fun things together. I read to him. He doesn't really read back to me, but that's okay because I can imagine that he would like to if he could. I used some palms and I got glue and I glued a palm here to the top of the rock for his hair. Put some a little fun little jazziness here. Put some googly eyes on his little face, and then I drew a little smile as well. So you can create your very own pet rock at home, and you can even tell us a little bit more about your pet rock. Give your pet rock a name. What would your pet rock say if he could talk? You could tell us your favorite thing to do with your pet rock. What is your favorite book to read to your pet rock? And if your pet rock could eat, what would be his favorite food? So those are just some different things that you can do with your pet rock. It'd be really cool for you to take a picture of your pet rock and then to upload that picture to ChatterPix. And then when you are in ChatterPix, you can record the rock's voice saying something back to you, right? Or you can send it to your teacher. You can show your teacher your little ChatterPix of your pet rock. All sorts of really fun things that we can pull out of this story. And oh, here is the scavenger hunt. And like I said earlier, a little scavenger hunt that you can take back with you into your community, into your neighborhood, and you can look for all sorts of different rocks where you are. Print this out, take this with you, and see how many rocks that you can find. Now, one last thing that I want to share with you before our time is up today is this fun little game that I thought would be awesome for you guys to practice making predictions at home. Now, this can be a game that, of course, you can always play in the classroom as well, but since you are home and you are with your families, this is a great way to practice making predictions. All you'll do is you'll take this little game board right here and you are going to connect 4. You are going to take these little cards and you're going to pull a card out and you're going to read it. The girl didn't look where she was walking. Well, I've got to make a prediction. If a girl is not looking where she's walking, what do you think could happen? I'm going to go here to my board and I am going to take a peek and I'm going to see, if she's not looking where she's walking, what picture best fits that scenario? Oh, she wasn't looking where she was walking right here and she fell. That I can make a prediction that if she's not looking where she's walking, she's probably going to slip and fall. And then I would cover that little space up. And my goal here is to cover 4 in a row, horizontally, diagonally, or vertically. Whoever covers 4 first wins the game. So this is going to be a really fun game for you to play with your families at home, your siblings. If you're staying 6 feet apart from other people, you can play this with them, with your friends as well. But all of these activities you can find on my website at justcaracarroll.com/petrock. And I am so excited that you joined me here today for this darling story about Charlotte and her rock. This story is absolutely one of my most favorites. There are so many different things that we can do with this story, but I just love how simple the illustrations are. I have read this one over and over and over again, and that is one of my favorite things about reading books, is that we can read them over and over and over again and get something different out of them each time that we read it. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you do any of these activities, if you create your own pet rock, if you are going on a rock scavenger hunt, I would love for you to find me on Instagram at Carroll, and I'd love for you to tag me. Show me your pet rock. Share that with us. Show us what your pet rock looks like. Tell us a little bit more about your pet rock. If you go on your scavenger hunt, I would love for you to take a picture of the best rock that you find on the scavenger hunt, and I'd love for you to tag me in that and share with me the favorite rock that you found on that scavenger hunt as well. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited to have been here with you. You can always catch all of these as well as the replay of this video on my website. And stay tuned, because up next, you guys are going to get fit. Yes. So, get ready to move, get ready to rock and roll. I cannot wait to see you again in a couple of weeks. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and we will see you later. Bye.